Hello, my name's Colin, welcome to Onion Skin, and in this video we're going to be starting a brand new animation series in rough animation, and we're going to be making this. Yes, a great big epic punch. I'm going to show you all the steps of how to put together something like this inside of Toon Boom, and all the other theory steps that are involved. Now, when beginning something like this, it is a complete frame-by-frame process, which means every single drawing is a completely brand new one. So the first thing we need to do is plan it, and there's quite a lot of planning involved because if you think about it, diving straight in and attempting to wing it can yield a lot of problems, particularly because you'll spend a lot of time on every single drawing and you've got no real guarantee that it's going to work or look any good. So there's a lot of planning stages involved. The first is just having a good think about what you actually want to do. Plan something in your head, what looks cool, and have that thing just play on repeat over and over again all day long, and really think about and flesh out every single aspect of that shot or gesture that you have in mind. That's how the hands will look, how his expression will be, the speed, the timing, every little detail, where it's going to come up close to the camera, where it's going to be far away, what's going to bend. Have all these different scenarios play on their own and think about every different way that it could be done. So then you start to realize what's actually going to be possible in regards to your current skill level and how much time is available to you. When you're happy with your hypothetical head video, you can start gathering reference material. Reference material is extremely important, even more so when you're starting out. Take no shame in tracing videos and getting whatever pieces you can to try and get a convincing movement. References can be manipulated and changed around, and no one's going to be seeing any of it once it's done, so who cares? So I've gathered a bunch of reference material that I want to use, and consider a great advantage that modern animators have over ones a very long time ago isn't just that we have great computers and Wacom tablets, but just about everyone is carrying a video camera in their pocket everywhere they go, so make good use of it. I also chose these three images from the Draw with Jazza Anatomy Reference Pack for lots of different body poses, flexibility, and anatomy. And this is going to come in really handy. So be sure to check out Jazza's shop and get hold of some more of these. They're really useful, but he's given me special permission to let me give you these three images for free. So you can find the download link in the comments below and you can use them to your own desire and make something really cool. So here I am inside of Toon Boom. I'm using Harmony 12 Premium, but any version of Toon Boom will do for this series. And I want to bring in the reference material that I've gathered after having a real good think about it. So go to File, Import, Images, hit the Browse button and find all the reference images that you have. Again, link is in the description to get all the pieces for this. I've got all these images. And then you get a dialog box that shows how you want these things to come in. So I want all of these images to exist one frame after another on the same layer. So have a quick look through here and make sure all these settings are the same in your version, and hit OK. Alright, so I've got all the reference material that I need in the scene. Now to position it correctly. To do that, select the layer that I want and go to the Free Transform tool. Hold Shift, I can scale that up to where I want. And on the other layer down here, I'm going to pull those frames out just so it'll cut from one to the next. Oh, these ones are all a bit big, aren't they? Oh, no, they're alright. These ones, they're okay too. Okay, and the next step from here is to rearrange all of these photos and reference material into an order that will be the most fun. So overall, what I want this scene to be is something that starts at this angle, looking down at the character, but ends more off to the side, like that one. I might even zoom out like that. There's a lot of choices, so it's all good. Alright, I'm going to take these few, ditch that one. Don't need them. Ugh, that's awful. That might come in handy. I can pick up these frames and cut and paste them to move them about the scene. Notice that sometimes extra keyframes will appear, don't worry about them. I'm going to spread these frames out a bit just so I can tell which sections what. So sideways ones, front ones, 3/4 ones. Other imported ones. And top down. Okay, so I'm going to start with full front facing ending profile. So put the profile ones at the end. Start with front facing. Now the point of having lots of different kinds of reference material is to cover all bases. There's a bunch here where I'm just punching sideways, punching at a high angle, doing it in slow motion, and then there's some still shots of other angles that I think I'm going to find interesting or useful. And of course, at the end of the day, I'm still quite, well, small. I don't want the character to be small, I want it to be a real beefcake, so that's where Jazza's great reference pack comes in. I can get someone who is a bit more of a beefcake and choose some similar angles to be able to pump myself up. And this is one of the great beauties of animation, is that we can take these images and mix and match and cross-reference them to create anything we want. So what I'm doing right now is taking a real close look at the timeline and thinking about the movement as clearly as I can. Picking up all of these images and shuffling them around how I plan to use them. Throwing away the ones that I don't think will quite work, and just overall refining the vision of what I think this movement can be as best as possible before laying down any strokes. So you can see here I'm watching over these frames over and over again. And it's probably getting a bit repetitive, but I'm just clarifying for myself exactly how I plan for this movement to look before actually having to draw anything, so I can be really confident in the pacing and the angles and all that kind of thing that I'm choosing. I'm trying to imagine as best I can how these very different images will flow together as a single piece. What things need to stray very heavily from the photo and what things can be traced almost directly, and which images are just best to drop completely. Because things were well planned, I took way more photos than was necessary. It's a lot easier to get rid of things than it is to realize that you don't have enough. You may also have noticed that I'm strictly using screenshots rather than the videos that were taken. Before importing it into the program, I went through all the videos frame by frame just in QuickTime and took screenshots of all the frames that I thought would be the most useful. So you can see what I'm doing here is grouping the reference material that I like into one place. All of the front-facing images are getting collected together at the start, all the 3/4 ones in the middle, and all the profile ones at the end. And you'll see in the coming episodes that I'm going to draw over most of those pretty exactly and figure out how to blend them together into one fluid movement. By clicking here, I'm going to put all of those inside a peg. Select the first frame of the peg layer, and with the free transform tool, make sure animate mode is on. Holding shift, expand them up so it gets to a good size. Like that. Now I'm going to sort this material even a bit more carefully by placing the position of each frame to a more appealing spot. If I want to move the position of just a single one, notice that if I create a new keyframe there and then move it, it's now animated all of it, which is a problem. So if you copy and paste the first keyframe and place it next to the original, it means it's going to stay still and then snap to the new position. I'm going to do that a few times. So these are essentially keyframes that I can choose to or not to use. If you can't be bothered importing and sorting all that out yourself, I've included the document at this point in the link, and you can download that and pick up right from here. So now we're going to start animating. Thanks for coming by. I hope you got something out of it. If you got stuck somewhere or something was a bit tricky, or if you have an idea for something else you'd like to see in a video, please let me know. In the meantime, you can check out some of my other stuff in those links just there. But thanks again, and I'll see you again soon.